Kilroy Was Here is an incredibly divisive album for fans of Styx. And quite frankly, it was for the band as well. Where you land on whether you like the album or not will likely say a lot about where you land with the current incarnation of Styx, which has been missing Dennis DeYoung for a couple of decades now. Truthfully, I get it when the current members of Styx say that it's time for fans that pine for the return of Dennis to move on. Styx has had a fairly stable lineup for years, now anchored by Tommy Shaw and James Young. Say what you will about Lawrence Gowan, he's been around long enough now that no one should be calling him the new guy. But still, he feels like the new guy. The guy who replaced Dennis. The guy who doesn't have to sing anything from Kilroy Was Here because Tommy and JY choose not to include that album's hits when they perform live. Apparently, the recording of the album wasn't as traumatic as some would have you believe, at least according to Dennis DeYoung, but still at the end of the day, songs like Mr. Roboto, Don't Let It End, High Time, Cold War, Heavy Metal Poisoning, these aren't the songs that the current version of Styx wants to play, and yet this is a band that will forever be known as the guys who sang Mr. Roboto. Sure, those are the fans who are only casually acquainted with the vast catalog of tunes created by this epic band, but they are the majority. Looking back, I guess the band should have known better. Kiss had tried something similar a few years earlier with The Elder, and the outcome, well, the best way to describe it was disastrous, at least commercially. I still play that album from time to time. Why? Well, because Kiss was trying to do something different, and I respect that. It's the same reason that I admire and respect Kilroy Was Here. The band, and more specifically Dennis, wanted to push the limits of their ability to tell a story. They wanted to create something that was, for lack of a better word, cinematic. And frankly, with the advent and popularity of MTV, the time felt right. And you know what? At least at first, it did feel alright. The album sold well, over 2 million copies, I believe. 2 top 10 hits in Roboto and Don't Let It End. It was, however, missing that, standout rock track that the earlier albums had showcased. Neither Tommy or JY had created that kind of song. Maybe they didn't feel inspired, or maybe their musical muse had just pointed them in a different direction. But in an album where the rebellious few fought for the very existence of rock music, the absence of a hard rockin' tune like Renegade or Miss America was kind of ironic. Hardcore fans of the band say that Kilroy did the band no favors whatsoever. They point to the fact that Tommy left the band towards the tail end of the North American Kilroy concert tour, forcing the band to cancel the last few dates. It was heartbreaking to see a band as mighty as Styx start to crumble from the inside out. Dennis did his own thing, so did JY. And Tommy, well, there's a little band called Damn Yankees that he helped create afterward. I believe that they are one of the greatest supergroups ever assembled. And I also believe that if things had gone differently, a song like Come Again might have been a Styx song. But that's not how things turned out. And now we have Styx visiting with Dan Rather, telling the veteran newscaster that things couldn't be peachier. Dennis is on tour as well. He doesn't hit the road the same way that his former colleagues do, but he still gets out there. And he can still rock. In fact, his band sounds pretty good. Listen, these guys are all great. Do I wish that Styx would welcome Dennis back? You bet! And Lawrence should stay too. He's earned that right. And for the love of all things rock and roll, people, Styx should play Mr. Roboto live. Every freaking night. It's kind of like Kiss choosing not to play rock and roll all night. You just can't do it. Embrace every hit. For crying out loud, it's your signature song. Like your kids, each one is special in their own very unique way. Well, that's it. You guys know the drill. Tell me what you think in the comments section below. I'd love to read your opinion, even if it is a complete 180-degree difference from my own. You know what they say, you live, you learn. Also, while you're at it, click on the thumbs up and subscribe buttons. That's how I'll know if I should make more videos like this one. But most importantly, as always, thank you so much for watching.